Hey, 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 hey. What is going on? We are black back. Backs are broke. We broke. Y'all know what it is. It's just No I Don't Know TV. I'm your boy Warren G. Been clowning sucker free since 2003. That means ain't no finessing me, period. Stop it with the bullshit. Shout out to everybody that's out there handling business. You already know what it is. It was out the motherfucker today. I mean, it was hot. Fuck. Shout out to everybody that's handling business and doing what the fuck they need to do. If you're at the court plantation, I salute to you. Because I know it's not easy. It's not fun at all. So shout out to you. Shout out to niggas that's got to do their homework and do what the fuck that they need to do. Clown ass homework, clown ass school. Shout out to motherfuckers that ain't got homework but got a job they got to go to. That's fucked up too. Either or, it's still fucked up. Hey. Drinking this fresh ass lemon water. Hey. Shout out to all my motherfuckers that's out there finessing. I mean, the nigga will ball 10 cents off of you. Hey, man, you got 10 cents? Damn, nigga, 10 cents? All right, man, here you go. Hey, man, you got another 25 cents? I'm trying to get something from the vending machine. God damn, man. God damn. Shout out to all y'all. There's a lot of shit going on, man. So shout out to motherfuckers that had to go to the goddamn court plantation today. I know y'all out there because, nigga, I had to do it too, so stop it. Stop acting like you ain't at the court plantation, because I know you are, motherfuckers. There's a lot of you motherfuckers out there trying to front and act like you ain't got to go to that motherfucker. Like, shit, I ain't got to go. Yo, nigga, you got to go. You better get your ass up and go to work, because on payday, that shit is going to hurt. So I don't want to hear that bullshit. So shout out to everybody that's out there handling business, doing what the fuck they need to do. Shout out to motherfucking non-driving ass niggas out here in Vegas too. There's a lot of non-driving ass motherfuckers out here too. Just cruising. Want to be seen. They got new cars that they got to drive everywhere so everybody can see it. I know, I remember them days. And then 10 years later, you're going to be like, shit, fuck that. I don't want nobody to see me in this motherfucking car. So shout out to all you motherfuckers that got a joyride everywhere. I tell you motherfuckers, if you want a joyride, take your ass to the strip. If you want a joyride. But for everybody else that got to get to where they need to be, get the fuck out the way. God damn. Man, it was a road rage incident out here the other day, man, in Las Vegas, man. It ain't like it's supposed to be, man. So shout out to everybody that's being safe, driving our joyride, and having a sense of purpose and a sense of urgency. That's facts. And shout out to all you motherfuckers that ain't got no motherfucking job and ain't looking for one and comfortable being on unemployment till they cut that shit off. Then your ass gonna go running right back to that job. So while you talking shit about a job, nigga, then give up your unemployment then. Motherfucker. Man. There's so much shit going on, man. I don't even know where to start. Hey. Man. I know where to start. Your boy Joe Biden again. I gotta get him. There's a lot of shit I want to touch on. It was another sister, not a Sicilian, acting like she's black, going to the University of Wisconsin, just like the other Jewish white. See, motherfuckers like to pretend too. That's one thing I'm gonna get on. Motherfuckers love pretending and acting like they don't know what the fuck is going on. Stop it with the bullshit. A graduate student talking about she identifies as black. Well, okay, bitch. Then since you identify as black, then why don't you switch places with Sandra Bland or Breonna Taylor? We would gladly exchange your life for one of theirs and bring one of our own back since you want to pretend. It's like, motherfucker, to me, I think it's some type of it's got to be a rite of passage for white folks to pretend like they black. It's like, let me see how long I get away with it. And then when they get away with it, they, well, you know, I just stop it. You identify just like, look, motherfuckers think the one bitch, Rachel Dolezal, was the only one. You know how many motherfuckers just wearing their hair in fizzy hairstyles and be up under black folks and then learn how to culturally appropriate what we got going on and then pretend and well, I identify until it's time to check that credit, until it's time to get pulled over by a police officer. Then you all that white shit go out the window. Then you start using that white privilege. That black shit go out the window. You start using that white privilege real quick. You know, let me see. Her name was C.V. Vitola Haddad. Apologized last week for a week in 2 posts on Medium and announced that they were leaving their position as the co-president of the University Teaching Assistants Association. I guess teacher assistant Vitola Haddad uses the non-binary pronouns they, them. The apologies came after an anonymous post on Medium accused Vitolo Haddad of misleading people about their racial, ethnic identity. In September 6th post addressed to dear friends, loved ones, and organizing comrades, Vitolo Haddad wrote that they were so deeply sorry for the ways you are hurting right now because of me. I mean, this cosplay shit is real. Yeah, they were of Southern Italian Sicilian heritage, but try to identify as black. Stop it, bitch. You playing games. See that? And you know why that is? Because motherfuckers ain't nipping it at the bud. The first thing I'd have done is been like, so you identify, you're lying. You're lying. Because let me tell you something. All you gotta do is see who they socialize with, who they're around. They overly correcting how they act and how they speak and how they talk. Then, you know, like the one lady, I forgot the other chick's name. God, what was the lady's name? Oh God, what was her name? And she was the fuck out of here. I forgot what that lady's name was, and she was a black student. I mean, a white student pretending like she was black. Jessica A. Krug. Oh man, that's crazy. Let's see if I can get some. Let's see if we can get some. Let's see. YouTube.com. Let's see if we can get some. What's her name? Vitola? Let's see. Hold on, bear with me. Vitolo. Let's see if we can get some. The right gets wrong about biology. Okay, so I'm about to play something, and I want to see. Okay, here we go.
And so wrong about human biology. The right often uses arguments about science to give off the impression that the way that they think about the world is objectively correct.
This is the
Science
poser
is about
bitch.
The facts, they say, and you either believe in the facts or you're a delusional libtard cuck. And from this perspective, they can easily dismiss criticism of their stance as anti-science, anti-fact, or my personal favorite.
Oh, she was just using being black to probably get grants and loans and shit. This bitch is full of shit. Like a motherfucker, and walked right past everybody as she did it. Now that's her talking. That's her talking about some other shit about biology. But bitch, you a fucking poser, and you played a fucking bullshit game. Wow. Let's see if I can get another.
Milwaukee.
No, this is a bogus. Let's see if we can get this. Oh yeah, because you got a whole lot of people just not trolling, but trying to get a whole bunch of views, so they'll tag anything. But it's like, stop. Man, did y'all hear her talking? I mean, she's talking about the binary this and that. Stop. Wow. Man, let me turn the music back on. That's crazy. I mean, just pretending, just fronting and acting like. This is the thing that I don't get. Jessica Krug and all that. Like, what do y'all get out of that? Let's see if I can get some footage of Jessica Krug, or whatever her name is, Krug. Let's see if I get. Let's see if I can get. I want to see if I can get 1 week ago. Let's see.
Black professor.
There continues to be.
Now, I haven't talked about it because I wanted to see how many more people was going to come out and talk about this shit. But the reason why, white privilege and the deflection, because yet again, you can use your white privilege to shift in between being white and black when it's convenient to you at no type of, I would say, recompense, remorse, or anything for how offensive it is to black folk that we can't change our skin. This is what we're born with. These are our genetics. But you can darken up your face, put some makeup on, and frizzy up your hair a little bit, and then talk a certain way and culturally appropriate what we got going on. And then people, because black folk are the most accepting people in the world and on the United States. On this continent, in the United States of America, we're the most accepting. In the world, we are. You can kick us, spit on us, do everything. All we got to do is apologize and be sincere. Half the time, you're not sincere, and we'll be like, oh, don't worry about it. They cool. We've been doing that. But we're the only, I would say, race that does that and allows people to culturally appropriate what we got to have, what we going on. Because I wouldn't be able to grow locks and wear a fucking top hat and dress like a white Jewish person and go amongst them and make fun of their shit, they would check me real quick and probably make it where I could never bank or do anything or own a business or nothing or even work a job. But we have no problem with them doing that, and it needs to be penalties put in place. You should have to do jail time for impersonating another ethnic group. You should have to do jail time for that, period. So let's see.
To students and staff, she was a black professor.
There continues to be a class-based and political tension.
Her media
She don't look black at all.
bio called her an unrepentant and unreformed child of the hood.
So I will end there. Thank you for listening.
But now Jessica Krug has revealed she lied. She is in fact white and from Kansas City. The associate professor at George Washington University had claimed African and Latina heritage. Her confession online.
Oh, so she claimed Afro-Latino. See? This is what happens when we start letting all these Latinos, now that it's cool to be black, want to be, I'm Afro-Latina and all this other shit. Let's rewind time 10 years ago. I never even heard of no Afro-Latino before. But all of a sudden, because it's cool to be black, now it's like, oh, I'm Afro-Latina. When it benefits you. When it doesn't benefit you, I Latina. Oh, I'm not black. I Latina. That shit. That tramp hoe ass bitch from Basketball Wives who done fucked every nigga and every nigga in basketball, football, and baseball. And get a kick out of talking shit and calling black women monkeys and all. Like, she talked a lot of shit about that Nigerian sister that was on that show. She got a kick out of that shit until that girl flipped mode the squad on the bitch and was like, well, I think you're racist. You use the N-word as much as you like. You're very offensive. You call me a black monkey. That's hella racist because you're not black. And if y'all watched it, the girl that was doing all the Puerto Rican bitch, she never broke down her heritage. She never said, well, Puerto Ricans actually are, because she don't know that, because she doesn't consider herself black. She just gets that pass because she's from New York and she's Puerto Rican. But she doesn't consider herself black, and that's why she never said that she was black. She never said any of that, because I watched that. And then all they did was deflect. And, oh, well, we don't want people to feel that way. And all. Stop it with the bullshit.
Was a shock on campus.
It's honestly disgraceful because she built a lot of personal relationships with students. One student was saying that they talked to her outside of class. She helped them through their personal, emotional, stuff. So to know that all of that was a lie and she was telling people to embrace their identity.
Some people make mistakes. That's all that happens. I don't necessarily felt betrayed, but
that guy, some people make mistakes. That was a Sambo. That was a motherfucking Sambo right there. No, that was a Sambo. No, ain't no some people make mistakes. That was not a mistake. A mistake is you dropped a pen. You know, you had it in your hand, you mistakenly dropped it. A mistake is you thought you counted $10 when really you had $11. And then you recounted again and it was $11. A mistake is you wrote something and then you forgot to write something else and you went back. That's a mistake. Pretending to be another ethnic group and you're knowing this group, this racial group you're pretending to be has been gentrified, vilified, redlined, Jim Crow'd, lynched. You know, that lady was fully aware of what she was doing. And she probably got off on that and probably was laughing behind closed doors. Because if you weren't laughing behind closed doors, you would have been like, I'm white, but I identify more with being around black culture. Matter of fact, you didn't have to say identify. People would see it through your work. They would see who you associate yourself with. They would see the good work that you're doing for the black community. You wouldn't have to pretend and play no bullshit games. But you did that because everybody around you, most black folk, we want a savior. We want somebody so bad, so we don't care. They could be, the Antichrist. But if they talking that black shit, we like, well, fuck it, they with us. Instead of really analyzing, looking like, man, are you really for us? What are you doing? Now, I would like to know, and question, since you identify as Black Latino, fine, what did you do to move our racial economic gap one iota forward at that school? So did you help with grants and loans for other students? What did you do? What did you do that benefited our racial group, black folk in the United States of America at that college? What did you do personally? Since you wanted to pretend to be us, what did you do? And I bet you she'd be like, oh, I help. I don't give a fuck about you helping somebody do some emotional shit. That translates to maybe you was fucking somebody. I don't care about that. What did you do economically? What did you do to close the disparity between black folk and all those other racial groups at that college? Because I'm pretty sure there were a lot of other racial groups that probably didn't have problems paying their tuition, probably didn't have problem buying books and getting to school. So how did you do that? That's what I would ask. But I'm pretty sure she didn't give a fuck. She probably got off on playing that shit.
It's kind of blatant disrespect for the people who are going through a lot of the stuff that we're seeing currently in the States.
The academic had reportedly used an activist pseudonym, Jessica La Bombalera. In her confession blog online, she said her deception was rooted in mental health issues as a child. She wrote, I have built my life on a violent
mental health. You notice, see, when white folks pretend to be black, they have a mental health issue, right? Right? To avoid all the backlash. But we, as black folk, have to go on a corn plantation and assimilate and become them every day. So that's even a bigger mental issue when you want black folk to be like y'all at the corn plantation and be the email shit and play all these motherfucking games. And it's like, man, what? That's even a bigger mental health issue. That's why I tweeted to this one dude. I was like, no, white folks need to go see the therapist, not black folk. Black folks need reparations. White folks need to go see the therapist and get psychologically evaluated. Not black folk. They do. They have been the destruction of this goddamn country. The thieves, the backbiters, the devils, the vile people of this goddamn United States of America Incorporated. They're the ones who enslaved people for 450 years, never paid them, but pay every other racial group but us. So, nah, they need to see the goddamn therapy. They need to just give us the reparations and the money that is owed to us. Fuck all that.
black lie, and I have lied in every breath I have taken. I am not a culture vulture. I am a culture leech.
Culture vulture, culture leech, same shit. You was pretending to be somebody that you weren't. You were pretending to basically be a part of a native foundational black American racial group, knowing the struggle and thinking the shit was funny. Now I'm starting to think this bitch was probably laughing at home with all her white Jewish friends. She probably got a kick out of that shit. I'm Afro-Latino. Stop it, bitch. Stop playing the games. I wonder how many grants and loans she got pretending like she was Afro-Latina. And I want to know how many other white people knew this. Because I guarantee you, other white people knew. Just like Rachel Dolezal. When she got outed, I believe the person who asked her that had already knew and set that shit up. And she knew the whole time and was pretending. Like, man, stop. Man, you look at pictures of her whole family is white. Which I don't have no problem with that, but why are you pretending? Why would you come on this side and then you try to do a Netflix special and sell a book, and then when that book ain't get you ain't heard shit from that bitch since. That bitch don't give a fuck about no niggas. And neither does this bitch right here either.
I actually don't like the term African American. I prefer black.
And that's Rachel Dolezal right there talking.
The case bears a strong similarity to one 5 years ago of Rachel Dolezal, a white race activist. She grew up white, then claimed to be black, until she was outed by her parents.
What do we want justice? When do we want it?
Amidst this country's current reckoning on race relations, the deception of a high-profile academic has been met with shock.
She claimed this particular kind of like working class black identity, a fake version of that, a stereotypical version of that, in order to gain clout, in order to gain access to spaces and resources, including scholarships, fellowships, grants, and
I try to tell y'all, she must have got grants and scholarships, and the other bitch too. That was Sicilian, that was trying to act like she was black. These motherfuckers, because let me tell you, what they doing is, well, fuck it, I'm gonna try to tap into what they getting. And then when it don't benefit me, I can just go back to being white. And it'll go away because I'm not black and they know that.
Including her job.
In a statement, George Washington University has said it's aware of its professor's blog post and is looking into the situation. A university study in career deception. James Matthews, Sky News.
Man, stop it. That bitch was playing games. She didn't give a fuck. The other bitch too, the Sicilian bitch too. Stop. Using black folks, and they get, I'm telling you, motherfuckers get high off that shit. Well, fuck it, I'm just gonna go ahead and go with it until I can't go with it no more. And I believe somebody white knew she was doing this shit, and they got tired of it, and they was like, all right, bitch, you better fucking tell motherfuckers that you not black. And then most black people, they not even outraged. They just tar and feather this bitch. And camp outside this bitch's house and be like, so why would you do that? And they should demand that she gets fired. What the fuck kind of shit is that? You getting all kinds of grants and shit and loans for pretending to be black. You know how hard it is for black folk every day of the week? Every day of the week is hard for us. We gotta get them and go to the goddamn court plantation every day. Only people that's happy to be there is lonely, desperate, bullshitting ass, dominant society white folk. If you smiling and grinning and cheesing and can't wait to be, man, stop. Then you ain't got no life. But most niggas that I know, they can't stand being there. They not smiley motherfuckers, and they want to get the fuck in there and get the fuck out. And they do not take no type of pleasure in walking around there shaking motherfuckers' hand and playing a goddamn politician. So that's only y'all motherfuckers that do that. That's why I'm telling you right now, if white folks woke up tomorrow and on the news, on CNN, black folks have just received reparations in the amount of $60 trillion, which equivalates to $5 to $8 million per black person. They have to be of native black heritage and blah, blah, blah. Oh, man. First of all, white people be like, what the fuck? Second of all, motherfuckers will be like, well, that's not fair. Well, then you gonna starting to see white people be like, oh, well, I have some black folks I got black in my family too. I traced my lineage. You know, like these white people, like, what was the dyke bitch that was a Republican and switched to a Democrat? And I forgot her name. And then the bitch tried to say she was Indian. That bitch was a pretendian. That bitch wasn't no Indian. A $5 Indian. Everybody want to act like they Native American all of a sudden. Until you be like, well, you know the Native Americans was Moors. Well, no, I'm not Native American. Stop. This is where white privilege comes from. That's why you got motherfuckers. That's why you got motherfuckers like Joe Biden being like, oh, well, yes, I benefit from it, but no, it's not that way. And I was like, man, please stop. That shit is never gonna change. I'm telling you that right now. Let me see if I can find this shit on Joe Biden talking about. See if I can find this shit. Talk about how he benefited from white privilege. Let's see if I can find this shit. And see if I can play it real quick. Let's see. I'm telling you right now, man. Don't act like white privilege don't exist. And stop making up excuses for everybody in the dominant society when they do some fuckery. The nigga talking about, oh, well, everybody make mistakes. I want to slap him on the back of his head. Nigga, what the fuck you mean?
Vice President Biden. Black parents across America need to know, how much different will the talk be with our sons and daughters about police interaction under your administration?
Watch this
It'll
deflection.
Be fundamentally different, but let me make it clear. One of the things people say, I know I understand, is my mother would say, come walk in my shoes for a mile and tell me you understand then. Very few white parents have to turn and say to their kid, once they get their license, make sure if you're pulled over, put both hands on top of the wheel. Don't reach for the glove box. Make sure you do whatever the police officer.
And that's exactly, he knows that already. His staff has already told, and that was a setup question, by the way.
Says, the vast majority of police are decent, honorable people. One of the things I've found is...
Then since the vast majority of the police are decent, honorable people, then why don't those decent, honorable people out the bad police that have been infiltrated by white supremacists that are targeting black folk and killing them? Why don't y'all out those police officers? bring them to the forefront, out them, put them under the goddamn jail, give some of those police officers the death penalty, give them 25 to life, and give black folks' family $25 million like you did with Mohammed Noor out of Minnesota. Why don't you do that? If you did that, what would happen is white police officers would stop killing black people, because they'll be like, fuck that. I'm not trying to lose my job, go to the pen, and might have to give up some bread too? Nah, fuck all that. I just rather not kill a motherfucker. Fuck that. That's what they'd do. If it was like, if you shoot and kill someone, there's no more justifiable. It's not justified anymore. Ain't no qualified immunity. You're going to prison. Period. So now you better shoot him in the leg, or you better use your taser. Then it'd be more motherfuckers getting tased and more motherfuckers getting locked up than motherfuckers getting shot and killed. But they're not going to do that, because why would they change it? Because most black folks are in awe with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. We in awe with these motherfuckers. We're like, man, Kamala Harris, why would we? Of course I'm going to vote.
The only people who don't like bad cops more than we don't like them are police officers. And so what we have to do is we have to have a much more transparent.
Man, what? Only people that don't like bad cops more than we don't is police officers. Man, this nigga's ill.
Means by which we provide for accountability within police departments. As President of the United States, what I will do, I will nationally bring together police chiefs, police officers, the union people, the African-American leadership, the communities, the brown communities, the civil rights leaderships.
What's the brown communities?
Sit at the table and agree on basic fundamental things that have to be done, including much more rigorous background checks on those who apply for and become police officers.
You're deflecting. If you guys are in control of the police department, the law enforcement, right? You do the hiring and firing, you're going to just hire who you want to hire. It's at management's discretion. So that doesn't even make sense. You're still not talking about what you're planning on doing to change it. You're just talking about we're going to do more rigorous background checks. Well, to be in law enforcement, it's already that way. That's nothing new.
2, teaching people how to de-escalate. 3, providing for a 911 call.
You notice he ain't said nothing about 2, 3, we're going to end racism, white supremacy by vetting out all of our law enforcement, making sure if they have racial bias, they won't be working for our police department. Why didn't you say that? At all. You didn't think, you know why? Because anything a politician says, most dumb, deaf, and blind people, they going to hang on every fucking word.
Like what happened in Lancaster, making sure that you have psychologists and psychiatrists available to go out to deal with those circumstances. We can change. We started that process before. I'm confident it can work again and again. Without vilifying, there's bad cops, there's bad police officers, there's bad senators, there's bad congressmen, there's bad docs. There's people who aren't meeting standards in every single solitary profession. And I'm confident the vast majority of the police are prepared to sit down in the White House in a commission like Barack and I started to begin to sit down and lay.
You notice he mentioned Barack. That's a point for black folk. Like, oh, well, mention Barack. Because, black folks love Barack. He can't do anything wrong. He's a good nigger.
Out what the minimum basic requirements are and what is out of bounds, period, including the ability for us to be able to go in and look at pattern and practice of police departments so they're completely transparent.
Mr. Vice President, Bob Woodward asked President Trump about white privilege and whether or not he benefited from it.
As you benefited from it too, Mr. Anderson Cooper. Let's not get it twisted.
And the president said, no, I don't feel that way at all, and sort of mocked Bob Woodward. Do you see ways that you've benefited from white privilege?
Sure, I've benefited just because I don't have to go through what my black brothers and sisters have had to go through.
Oh, Lord Jesus. I know a black person is in his staff now telling him, we're going to ask you this question, because that's the first time I ever heard him say that. That's a fact. Hey, what's going on, Taj? I see you.
Number one. But number two, grow up here in Scranton. We're used to guys who look down their nose at us.
Also now, see, y'all got to break this and decode this. Now he's trying to separate, you know, I would say his white privilege into categories. Well, you know, yeah, I benefited from white privilege, but let me tell you, I wasn't a rich white guy, so, you know, I got looked down upon too. You know, they look down on us too. It doesn't matter. You're still white, which means you're going to get a job 99% of the time over a black person. You're going to be a black person supervisor 99.9% of the time, whether you have a college degree or not. You know how many motherfuckers I know with fucking BA degrees and they're reporting to a white person with no degree? Just go on any corn plantation, especially in Las Vegas. Just go on any of them. You're going to see so many Caucasians in charge of shit. You're going to be looking at them like, well, what's your degree in? They gonna have a degree in baking cakes, but they over business administration. That's a fact.
We look to people who look at us and think that we're suckers. Look at us and they think that we're not equivalent to them.
Right. So let's play we were dumb white people and we got looked down upon by rich, wealthy people. So we just like black people, huh? No, you're not.
If you didn't have a college degree, you must be stupid. If, in fact, you didn't get to go to an Ivy school. Well, I tell you what bothered me, to tell you the truth. Maybe it's my Scranton roots. I don't know. But when you guys started talking on television about Biden, if he wins, will be the first person without a Ivy League degree to be elected president, I'm thinking, who the hell makes you think I have to have an Ivy League degree to be president? I really mean it.
And what does that have to do with benefiting from white privilege, Mr. Joe 94 crime Bill Biden? Y'all niggas gotta wake up, man. Come on, man.
Found my backup. No, I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Like, guys like me were the first in my family to go to college. Up here, my dad busted his neck. My dad came up here, worked here, lost his job like a lot of people did here. There used to be a bad joke in the 60s in Scranton. No one's in Scranton, everybody's from Scranton because so many people lost their jobs. We are as good as anybody else. And guys like Trump, who inherited everything.
Oh, here we go. The boogeyman. Boogie, 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 boogie. Here we go.
And squandered what they inherited are the people that I've always had a problem with, not the people who are busting their neck.
Oh, Lord Jesus. I can't. Let me cut the music on. I can't. That shit's ridiculous. Stop. Between Jessica Krug, or Krug, or whatever her name is, and then the Italians, the Sicilian bitch, pretending like she black on some cosplay type shit. If motherfuckers ain't learned by then, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. My friend said she voted for body hair just because the lady is black. Oh, God. Send her this goddamn podcast. And tell your friend I said, if you vote for someone just because you're black, then you might as well just go and join their team. Period. And you are misinformed and you have no idea what the fuck is going on. And that's some sucker shit. And make sure you play it for him. Don't even tell him who I am. Just be like, hey man, you need to listen to this dude. Voting for the less of the two fucking goddamn evils is the dumbest excuse I've ever seen people use in my life. No, they thought he was stupid because he cheated his way through college. I just seen a video of him copying people's speeches, damn near word for word. Who, Biden? Let me tell you something. Anybody who thinks for 1 second that voting for the lesser of the two, that's, first of all, think about it. Do you think they would give white people the option of a thieving ass nigga versus a gangbanging ass nigga and be like, well, these are your options? White people be like, you've got to be out your fucking mind, Bob. I'm not voting for these two niggers. First of all, where'd you get these niggers from? You guys don't have any more Obamas in the back? That's what they would be saying. Look, let me tell you something. Let's break this down. Whether Joe Biden cheated his way through college or did it the right way. Him, Dick Cheney, Obama, the Bushes, they're all the fucking same. They're not gonna do shit for black folk. If you have read Black Labor, White Wealth by Dr. Claude Anderson, you should already know how politics work. But if you haven't read that book, you would have the slightest idea. You wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even know where to begin because you'd be like, well, she is black. First of all, Kamala Harris doesn't even identify as black. She identifies as Jamaican and Indian. She doesn't identify as black. It's just like watching Insecure. Issa Rae and Yvonne Orji. When they get praised, the first thing they do is, oh, well, you know, we're Nigerian, you know, because we're not. It's like, fuck niggas, we're Nigerian. And the second thing I would tell them is, that's great. So why didn't you take your Nigerian ass and go the fuck back to Nigeria? Because this is for native black folk here. This ain't for y'all. But y'all benefiting off of the shit that we built. This is what our great-great-grandfathers and grandmothers built. Not y'all. Y'all done built this country. Y'all stayed the fuck over there in Nigeria, so take your asses back. Because when it's convenient for our Africans to claim their heritage, they'll claim, I'm Nigerian, I'm Ethiopian, I'm this, I'm that, right? When it's all negative, then it's, oh no, I'm not Akata, I'm not a lazy nigga, I'm not lazy cotton picker, you know. But when it's good, oh, I'm Nigerian. They know how to they will distinguish who the fuck they are real quick, especially when there's white folks around. And then they only want to claim that they are black when they're around a whole bunch of black people and white people are treating them fucked up. My brother, my sister, we are black in the struggle. That bullshit. Man, fuck out of here, man. I don't hear that shit. So tell your friend, and she vote. Exactly. That's I just don't understand niggas at this point. I'll be itching for a nigga to be like, man, you gonna vote? I'm gonna be like, vote for who? I remember I told this Latino, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna vote for Trump. He got all mad. I was looking at him like, man, I'm not voting for none of this suck ass shit. It doesn't benefit my racial group, so why the fuck would I vote for it? Period. And he started thinking, I just looking at him like, but I'm not mad. I took a ride down Eastern today in between, I would say, Sahara and Charleston. Nothing but Latino businesses. Up and down. Taxes, insurances, register. Nothing but Latino businesses. And I'd be looking around like, wow. And you don't think that's not by design? So why the fuck? The first thing I would ask Joe Biden, amongst many things, is what do you plan on doing for reparations for black folk? And what is your specific agenda for black people? But you know what? That question is going to be asked towards Kamala. She'll be asked that question. What our lying ass talking about, she listened to goddamn Tupac and Snoop when she was in college in the 80s. And Pac didn't come out to his first album to 91. This bitch talking about she listened to Tupac and Snoop in the 80s. Okay, yeah, I'll be like, yeah, I'm voting for Trump. Nigga, I'm not voting for either. And I hope Trump win. Good. He's an equal opportunity racist. He talks shit about everybody. And that's what all these other racial groups don't like. They don't like the fact that he doesn't use black folk as his fucking punching bag. Everybody's his punching bag. And that's what most racial groups don't like about Donald Trump. He uses every racial group if you're not white, he's going at everybody. He's going at the gays. He's going at everyone. The Latino, and that's why most Latinos, fuck Trump. Of course, yeah, because he like build the wall. Yeah, man, build that motherfucker. Fuck him. Oh, well. Oh, well, why could you say that? Well, look. See, I'm talking books now. Not that I'm educated, but I'd be like, well, if you read the new Jim Crow, I never seen anybody taking up for black folk. Well, brown people were in prison too, but brown people didn't build this country. Black folk did. So you guys strategically put us behind the line. What do you mean you guys? Not y'all, the dominant society. What do you mean the dominant society? Okay, Oliver North, Freeway Ricky Ross, Gary Webb, the crack epidemic in the 80s. Then let's fast forward to 94. Then the crime bill by yours truly, Joe Biden, put over 550,000 black folks in prison. Stop. For 3 strikes law. Then when you confront them, no, I don't regret that bill. It was black folks that asked me for that. Oh, well, blame it on us. They were begging. Oh, so we were begging for you to get black people in order. Stop. Stop with the bullshit. That's because so many people are so caught up in, look at all the symbolism behind it. Kamala Harris talking about she listening to Tupac and Snoop. Then, before her, Hillary Clinton talking about she got hot sauce in her bag. I would have been like, and why do you have hot sauce in your bag? What does that have to do with us? But that's all strategic. Because they're not finna allow her to go on no other show where a motherfucker can really press her. You notice Joe Biden ain't been back on the Breakfast Club since he got the nominee. You know what? Hey, what's going on, Tommy? I see you. I need to see something new. You know what? I don't care. Let me tell you something. Black folks have been dealing with anti-black racism for 450 years. So good. I like that he's an equal opportunity racist. So he go in on every other racial group too. He talk shit about the Indians. He talk shit about the Latinos, especially Latinos. He done gave Latinos they wake up nigga call. Wake up nigga, wake up. Because a lot of Latinos, fuck Trump, good. That's what y'all get. Y'all just don't like the fact that motherfuckers talking shit about y'all, not about niggas. See, every other racial group will sit back and laugh when white folks talk shit about niggas. But then when white folks turn their attention on other racial groups, hey, that's why you got a lot of Latinos, a lot of every other racial group being like, well, fuck, we got to get Trump out. And have black folks thinking, yeah, just vote for, we got to get Trump out. And they always using that as a justification for everything. Well, as long as you get Trump out, and I'll be like, okay, and what has Joe Biden did for black folks besides the 94 crime bill? Most black folks be like, what is that? Most black people don't even know what the 94 crime bill is. They think it's some bullshit. But look, man, I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't wake up and understand that voting is some sucker shit, and if you are a foundational black American or native black to this landmass, or you just black period, and you understand how politics work, Joe Biden ain't going to do nothing different than what Donald Trump is doing. Didn't Donald Trump say he was going to lock Hillary Clinton up when he clinched the presidential nomination? What happened to him locking Clinton up? He never locked her up, did he? I'm going to lock her up for all those emails. Go back and play those speeches. And as soon as he won, Hillary Clinton just faded to the black. Kind of like Jay-Z's album. She just faded to the black as if you didn't even know that she existed. It's how you spell her name. She is so pretty. Oh, you talking about that's wrong. Hey, man, I'm telling y'all right now, if you think that it's going to be any different, just listen to how he explain his white privilege. Well, yeah, of course I benefit from white privilege. Because, I'd have to go through what my black brothers and sisters had to go through. Yeah, you should have mentioned Jim Crow, lynching, redlining, gentrification, among other things, segregation. Why didn't you mention all those things? But of course, most politicians, they're not going to mention Jim Crow. They're not going to mention redlining. Why would they mention any of that? Because then now that's another conversation. Oh, you're going to do it? Look, first of all, let me tell you something. If you do not understand racism, white supremacy, everything else will confuse you. Neely Fuller Jr. Look him up and buy his book. Look him up. Neely Fuller Jr. I'm telling you. Everything else will confuse you, because that's why I was confused. Because then you get around one dominant society person, and since they can talk a little twang like black folk, you like, oh, they cool. And then start watching them. They cool as long as they telling your ass what to do. But don't let you become their equal. Don't let you become their supervisor. Shit. They'll rally all them other white folks to go to human resources on your ass. Your ass will be out of a job. Racism is never going anywhere. And that's exactly why a lot of times I go hard on the black churches, because they're not teaching black folk what the fuck it really is out here in the real world. See, going to the black church is like being in the Matrix. It sounds good, it tastes good, and it feels good. The food tastes good. The choir sounds good. And then after the preacher get done preaching, you feel good. So you're like, man, I like this. And then you take your ass out there into the real world. You can't eat shando and do all this speaking in tongue to no anti-black racists. They gonna be looking at you like, and you're fired. That doesn't work in the real world. This makes me want to cut you through the screen. Let me tell you something. Anti-black racism is never going anywhere. If you're not trying to replace the system of racism, white supremacy, and establish a system of justice, then all you're doing is just running it in place, jogging in place, circular thinking. That's all you're doing. You better go read the ISIS papers by Dr. Frances Wilson. Talks about the pool table, the matador. Talk about the black bull, the great equalizer. She talks about how the CDC already had Ebola virus in the 70s and they waited to put it out. Genetic annihilation, how the fear of a black planet, black balls, is why we got castrated. That's why in Django, they had Jamie Foxx upside down, getting ready to cut off his balls, because they know we could fuck them out of existence, literally. They know that. We can make white and black, albino and black. They cannot do that. But let me tell you this. If you understand how it works, and every day I'm learning. So I'm still learning. So I see little nuances and things. You always pick it up at the corn plantation. Even if you're not at your corn plantation, but you just go into a corn plantation. Let's say you go into a Walmart or you go, look around you. Just look at the subtleties. You'll learn to pick up things. That's why, don't tell them you read. They don't like no read, nigga. They want a dumb yuck nigga. Because once you read, they look at you differently. They treat you different. And then they try to use little certain things and say little things to trigger you, have you feeling some type of way. But let me tell you something. That can never break me. Because once you're educated, you're educated. And it's always in your brain. Exactly. Well, the reason why the dominant white society feel that way is because this has been their system the last 450 years. This has been their system. That's why they broke away from England. And because England, Great Britain, they was looking down on them white people. And that's why they broke away. And then you have Bacon's Rebellion, like, look, this nigga still felt like he better. He poor, but he still feel like he better than everybody else. He's, I forgot which president was like, if I can convince the poorest white person that he's better than the wealthiest nigga, we have done our job. And they've done their job. That's why white poor people will vote for Trump because they think Trump really care about them when really Trump is wealthy. He don't give a fuck about no poor white folk. But let him keep thinking that. Long as he spreads that anti-black racism and changes it into anti-racism to other racial groups, I'm fine with that. Because at least you know what you're getting with Donald Trump. You don't know what you're getting with Joe Biden. 1 minute you're talking about, I benefit from white privilege. But Joe Biden was the same one talking about, why do I have to be responsible for what my great-great-grandfathers and ancestors did to black folks? I wasn't there. I didn't do that. Motherfuckers forgot about that shit. Which every dominant white society in this space right now would say the same thing. No justice, no peace. You'd be like, what do you think about reparations? Reparations? Like, why? Like, I grew up poor and I'm poor, and I get discriminated against, and I'm white, and I can't get reparations, so why does black folks get reparations? They already get so much. That's what most white people feel about you and feel about your struggle. The New Jim Crow. Go get this book by Michelle Alexander. The New Jim Crow. Go get it. That's why motherfuckers be like, well, slavery ended. No, it didn't. Go read Slavery by Another Name by Douglas Blackman. Guilty, nigga. That's where I got that from. Motherfucker they didn't reinvent the wheel. All they did was just add different spokes to the wheel. That's it. Probably. Look, politics is about theater and catering to a specific racial group that you need to vote from. Obama, he had a whole bunch of black singers, had a whole bunch of black people. So did Hillary with Jay-Z in there. They had a whole bunch of people, right? Right? Because they're pandering to you, because they want your vote. And then once he got in there, what the fuck did Obama do specifically for black folk? Not a goddamn thing. You better go watch Dr. Claude Anderson's interview on The Breakfast Club. Obama's a fucking joke. And anybody sitting up here, first of all, his man was Rahm Emanuel, the motherfucking mayor of Chicago, who did not play the footage of Laquan McDonald being gunned down by a race soldier. He kept that footage hidden so he can win the re-election. That's your boy, Rahm Emanuel, the white Jewish brother, who probably say nigga every chance he get. Just like these Italians who act like the Moors didn't dominate and teach them everything that they've known and knew. But I digress. Hey, man, I appreciate everybody listening, subscribing. Hey, man, we going to keep this thing moving. Read these books, man. Don't just get them. Read them. That's the only thing that's going to help you. Man, like I told you, I remember a dominant white society motherfucker going to say, man, that was so sad how we forced the Chinamen to build the railroads. I just looked and laughed. You know, and he couldn't even say that because I was laughing. You just go about what somebody told you. But documented history has proven that they didn't build shit. They came in and assisted after we had already built the goddamn railroads. What the fuck is you talking about? That's just like a white motherfucker saying, well, black people, you know how many people on Twitter talking about, well, black people ain't the only people that built this country. Latino. I was like, well, now find me one thing in documented history that Latinos built. And I'm talking about from the 1500s when slavery started until I would say the 1900s. Now you gonna find me because during the civil rights era, there was really no Latinos, period, that I ever seen doing some marching with MLK and getting bricks and shit thrown upside their motherfucking head and water hoses. So when the fuck did the Latinos build this country? Stop. Hey, man, remember that. Get these books, read them, study them, highlight them. White privilege is real. It's never going anywhere. Stop thinking because you kissing some white person's ass and he's using his white privilege to help you out so you think that it ain't no white privilege. Please. If he was really your friend and she was really your friend, she would say it is white privilege. I do benefit from it and it's fucked up. And if I'm not using it to benefit other black folks, then I'm just as racist as the next motherfucker. Facts, not printers. Hey, man, I appreciate everybody listening, subscribing. I'm your boy Warren G and the place to be. If you see anybody talking about, oh, well, Joe Biden is good, man, and Kamala, man, they gonna do real good for us. Play this fucking video for guilty nigga and you a Sambo or a mammy. I'm out. Peace.